Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the Russian Grand Prix race watch along. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to say the obvious, and that is that there will be no race footage during this stream. It is a watch along. You guys watch, I watch, you tell me what you're thinking in chat, I tell you what I'm thinking. We watch it along together. If I could show race footage, as I'm sure you all know, I would, but copyright would see this channel taken down in seconds if I even tried to, so not going to happen. I'm sure there'll be people in chat that will share you streams if you need to go and watch it. So we're just going to have a nice discussion of the Grand Prix. So how are we all doing in chat? Are we ready for a couple of hours of thrilling action around Russia? I'm hoping it might be all right, actually, with obviously the Red Bulls out of position. We'll have a look at the grid in just a moment, but the Red Bulls out of position, a few others as well. So maybe we'll get some overtaking. I mean, last year, outside of the first lap, as I said in the weekend warm-up, there was one recorded on-track overtake. So chances are, unless they get taken out in turn one, we're going to see the Red Bulls coming through the field. So we should get more than that. So that's a positive, but I don't tend to look forward to Russia too much. There is around about a 40% chance of rain, I believe it is, so that'll probably not turn up because it will get overhyped massively on Sky Sports, and we'll probably talk about it loads as well, so it probably won't turn up. But there is a chance of rain. It did rain in Formula 2 this morning. Cracking Grand Prix race in Formula 2 today. Really, really enjoyed that. Great victory for George Russell as well. So, you know, if we do get a little bit of rain, a little bit of a sprinkling, maybe halfway through might make it interesting, but don't hold your breath at 40% because we've seen races where there's a 100% chance of rain and not a drop falls. So there you go. You just never know. You never. 100% is a bit over the top, but yeah. Let's start by having a look at the grid because there's some confusion over the actual starting grid outside of the top 10 because there have been more penalties thrown on drivers today and since I did the qualifying report yesterday. So the top 10 is as it was in qualifying. Valtteri Bottas will be starting on pole position. Few people saying I was wrong to say that's a cracking lap. I think you need to see the onboard. He extracted absolutely everything he could from that car and from himself to take that pole position to the point where when he got out the car, he was shaking. So I think that was a bloody good lap from Valtteri Bottas. Not amazing, not up there with some of the greatest we've seen, but he really did deliver yesterday. Deserves a lot more credit than some people are giving him. Lewis Hamilton probably would have taken pole had he nailed that first or that. Not made that mistake through turn 7 because he was up, but he ended up second on the grid alongside his teammate. But I don't think he'll be too worried. That run down to turn 1 is massively OP, so he should get a decent tow, as will Sebastian Vettel in third. So just because Bottas is in pole, just because we have a Mercedes front row, does not mean it's all over. That first run down to turn 1 could be critical for this race. Kimi Raikkonen in 4th place for Ferrari. Interesting comments from him this weekend. He's not looking to help Sebastian Vettel to the World Championship, apparently. I don't believe that. I think if he's in a position where he can help him, he will, but I think he's probably more saying he's not going to go out of his way to help him, if that makes sense. So, going to be interesting how that unfolds today. Kimi Raikkonen ends up ahead of him. Kevin Magnussen, great qualifying. Yes, of course, the Red Bull's not up there, but fantastic from him. 5th place on the grid, as Esteban Ocon as well. 6th place for him. Racing Point Force India, as they are known. And Haas looking very good this weekend, as are Sauber. Charles Leclerc in 7th. Sergio Perez in 8th. Romain Grosjean 9th. And Marcus Ericsson made it into the top 10. So, this is where people are a little bit confused. So Carlos Sainz will be 11th and Nico Hülkenberg 12th. No surprises there, of course. They sat out Q2 because they knew they probably weren't going to get into Q3, and 11th and 12th is probably a pretty decent place to be, given that we are looking at high degradation on things like Hypersoft. So they could be sitting pretty sweet there for some points. So could be a better race than maybe they were expecting this weekend, Renault. Sergei Sorokin 13th for Williams, and Lance Stroll promoted as well to 14th place, so Williams will be happy with that. Stoffel Van Dorn, he took a gearbox penalty today, but because he didn't take as many new components, it's ridiculous. Because he didn't take so many new components as those behind him, the FIA have decided he will start 15th. It is in the rules, so that's completely right. So he's dropped 1 place onto the clean side of the grid. I'm not saying it was strategical, but there you go. Dropping onto the clean side of the grid into 15th. Fernando Alonso qualified 7th, took penalties, and starts 16th, as I said in yesterday's qualifying report. Pierre Gasly down in 17th place. It will be Daniel Ricciardo 18th, Max Verstappen 19th. He took an extra penalty after qualifying yesterday for ignoring yellow flags. I believe it was from Sorokin's spin, possibly. I think it was Sorokin's spin. And Brendan Hartley would bring up the rear of the grid in 20th place. He took an engine penalty, I think it was, this morning as well. So there we go. That is the grid. It's It gets ridiculous. I know there's not really a lot they can do at the moment. It is in Formula One. It's the rules. These are the engine penalties. We kind of have to get on with it. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better because I don't think we're going to be getting more power units. But obviously, we can criticise the penalties, but let's not forget Mercedes and Ferrari aren't taking them. So maybe we need to be criticising others as well, like Honda and Renault. But let's not get into that one for this. We're going to be talking a little bit about yesterday's qualifying session. I'm not really sure where to go with it because it was Bottas on pole was not a surprise for me. I expected him to be strong this weekend. He's super quick around Russia. He's always gone well. He's been on the podium for Williams. He started third place for Williams a few times. If he'd not had that crash with Kimi Raikkonen a couple of years ago, he would have probably been on the podium as well, or fourth at worst. So it's a track that very much suits him, but it's a track that doesn't suit Lewis Hamilton, but that he doesn't enjoy. Lewis Hamilton does not enjoy Russia. So it's quite an interesting dynamic there at the team. And Lewis doesn't need to go and take that win. He's going to want to win it. Of course he wants to win it. He's a racing driver. Every single driver on the grid wants to win the race. But he's not going to be going into, like I said at Singapore, not going to go and push himself into any 50-50s today. So if he gets through turn 2 in second place with Valtteri ahead of him, yes, he's going to push him for the win. Yes, he will try and get it, but he's not going to throw it up the inside of his teammate anyway, and he's certainly not going to risk that championship lead for the sake of 7 more points. His priority is to stay ahead of Sebastian Vettel. That's kind of the way to look at it now. So it is 40 points in the championship as well, so big weekend. I said it in the qualifying report, I don't want to sit or whatever and say this is a must-win for Sebastian Vettel, because the last 2 Grand Prix, I'd say, certainly in Singapore, were must-win races, and he didn't. So there's no point sitting here and saying this is a must-win weekend, because every single one between now and the end of the season is must-win. So, there's just no point sitting here and trying to make out that he's got to go for it when we all know he has it. It's the most obvious statement ever. It's whether or not Kimi Raikkonen is going to help him. Let me know what you think in chat, whether you think Kimi Raikkonen's just been Kimi about it, a little bit bois, if you like, about this whole will you move out of his way, because I still think he will play team games if he needs to, but as I said right at the start, I think it's more that he won't go out of his way to jump out of the way. It'll be other ways he tries to help. So do let me know what you think in the chat on Kimi Raikkonen's comments. It's an interesting one. Like I say, I think he will help, but we will definitely see. Bois. Logan Butcher just says Bois. That's fantastic. Love it. Very Kimi, isn't it? It's going to be good to see him at Sauber next season. But I do want to talk, because I didn't get a chance yesterday in the qualifying report. As you know, I tried to keep my pre-recorded videos under 10 minutes, and I was just over with yesterday, so I didn't get a chance to talk about them too much. But Haas really surprised me yesterday. Now, it is a track, particularly that first and middle sector, that's very much about power. Obviously, there's the technical final sector, but obviously the power is important, and Ferrari have got a very good power unit. So in that respect, it's not a surprise. But looking at what they had on Friday, what they were delivering in terms of pace, I was quite surprised to see Kevin Magnussen put that car 5th, because Charles Leclerc, for me, through most of qualifying, looked like that was going to be his. He looks so good. And don't get me wrong, a career best 7th in a Sauber is a fantastic job. But that lap from Kevin Magnussen has been massively underrated and hasn't really got much coverage. But the onboard of that, which I watched on the Sky Red button, or on the website or something, I watched it somewhere, was really impressive. So I think he's not getting enough credit for that one. And I think K-Mag, for everything he's done this year, he does get the credit, but sometimes focus moves elsewhere, if that makes sense. And I was just very impressed with him yesterday. It did kind of come out of nowhere. Everyone was watching Bottas and Hamilton, and is Vettel going to improve? And then K-Mag goes and slaps it into 5th place. So really good drive from him yesterday. Also, Esteban Ocon, every weekend is massively important for him. Massively important. Sorry, I've just seen another one of those. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a Simpsons joke, but we'll move on and not mention it. But yeah, it's a massively important weekend, as every single one is for Esteban Ocon. He needs to continue to deliver. We all know what he can do. We all know he's a good driver and should be on the grid next year. There's probably one seat available. Toro Rosso not going to take him, so he's got to show Williams really what he can do. And 6th place on the grid gives him a great opportunity to do that today. And he's ahead of his teammate as well. So if he can finish ahead of Perez, he moves ahead of him in the World Championship. And that's going to sit people down who keep going about how Perez has never lost to a teammate or Ocon's never beaten a teammate. The people that don't look at the bigger picture. So I think that sounded a bit fanboy then, didn't I? That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. But yeah, never mind. Charles Leclerc 7th, I've already spoken about. Obviously, he's going to look good. But looking at the rest of that top 10, I tend to feel as though I think Grosjean can do something today. And if we get a little bit of chaos at the front, we could see a Haas on the podium or, who knows, a Sauber on the podium. But we're going to need a coming together between a couple of leaders or some reliability problems. But still, if they can end up beating the Red Bulls, who I still do think will come through to 5th and 6th, I think they'd be very pleased with the weekend, and that midfield in the Constructors' Championship, in the Drivers' Championship, is stupidly tight, and that fight to be best of the rest is so exciting. I know people are kind of turning off from F1 a little bit now because they think that the championship's done, but seriously, that midfield, I know it's not what people want. People focus on the championship, and rightly so. That is what people want. They want world champions. But that midfield fight, that battle to be best of the rest, has been brilliant this season, and it's only going to get better because it's getting closer. Development is stopping in these midfield teams. It's stopping. So what they've got now is what they've got. So between now and the end of the season, it's going to stay this close, and I think that's definitely something to watch. But yeah, let's have a quick chat about Red Bull. About 12 minutes away from lights out. So let's have a quick chat about Red Bull. Where do we think they're coming back to? I think they're going to overtake, provided they can get through those first couple of corners. I mean, that run-off, as we saw in F2 this morning and in GP3 as well, is ridiculous. I mean, there needs to be some gravel or something there to stop them. So they might not be coming together in turn 1, but I think 5th and 6th. I'm not going to commit to an order. I'm not going to say that I think that Verstappen will beat Ricciardo Verstappen, because that could well come down to strategy, and they might even play team games themselves once they get the position. But I mean, yeah, they should cruise through the field to a point. They've shown some seriously good speed this weekend, actually, for a power track and a circuit that they were expecting to struggle at. A lot of focus being put on Mexico, for example. I'm quite surprised at the pace they've shown. Practice on Friday, they were matching that speed of Ferrari. They were only a couple of tenths, 3 tenths off the Mercedes. So I was a little bit surprised by that on Friday. So hopefully they can deliver in the race. And as I said in the qualifying report yesterday, it's a big if and a lot of maybes, and a lot of things got to go their way, and luck will have to fall for them as well. But if we get a couple of safety cars, they can pull the strategy and get it right like they did in China. A little bit of chaos at the front. They could nick a podium. They could. It's a real outside chance and a massive if and a massive maybe. But if anyone can do it, as we saw in China, Ricciardo and Verstappen can. Or Verstappen would have done. Let's put it that way. The Red Bull boys can. But yeah, it's a long way back from the back of the grid. But I've got a feeling. I've got a good feeling about them. Good feeling about Red Bull today. Anybody you want me to talk about? Any opinions you want on anybody on the grid before I jump into too much of any more pre-race stuff, because we're not a million miles away actually from heading over to the watch-along screen. So I will give another disclaimer, and I'll give one more before we get into the watch-along. It gets I understand what people say, but there is no race footage. There won't be any race footage, and unless I can find millions and millions of pounds, I won't be able to strike a deal with FOM either. So it's just a watch-along, alternative radio commentary, and a bit of a conversation with you guys whilst we're I'll get it told off now for jinxing Red Bull whilst we're watching the race. Opinions on rain, says Morgan. 40% chance was the last I saw. That could have changed, but I'm not expecting any heavy rain. It's quite warm as well. Different time of the year, of course, to last year. It was April last year, I think, the Russian Grand Prix. This year, obviously, it's going to be warmer. So yeah, even if it rains, it's going to have to rain heavily to really make too much of a difference like it did in F2. So we shall see. We shall see. How far can the Renaults progress? I've got a feeling it depends on... I haven't seen what tyre they're starting on. The live timing's not updated yet. Obviously, teams won't be saying just yet. But if they can start on the soft and run long and then go on to, say, the ultra soft towards the end, they should be pretty pacey. So I think... they could pick up some top-end points, sort of 6th or 7th if the Red Bulls don't make the progress we're expecting. But I think Renault, as of right now, would quite happily take 9th and 10th. I know that's only 2 places, or a place each, but I think they take 9th and 10th, to be honest, today, definitely. So who do I think will win? Should we do predictions? Let's do predictions. If you're new to Watchalong streams, by the way, this is about as relaxed as I'll be. And I will say some stupid things, and my voice will go to some stupid pitch levels, and I will probably upset a lot of people, but I just say it. So I like to have a bit of fun and just chill with you guys. But we'll do predictions. As Kimmy would say, I'm going to say Hamilton. I'd love Bottas to do it. You know, if he can deliver today, the season he's had, he deserves a win. You have to work for it, but if you work for it, you still deserve it. So I think definitely Bottas has got a chance. But I think Hamilton, he's not going to stick himself in a 50-50 situation with his teammate. I don't think he will with the Ferraris either, but I have a feeling team orders may get pulled and he could end up taking the lead. You know, then I don't believe for a second that Mercedes will turn to Bottas 5 laps to go and say, let your teammate through. But if Vettel's close and in the race and they're looking at the championship, you know, Bottas's pit stop might take a couple of tenths longer than Lewis. It's that kind of team order. I don't think we're going to see an Austria 2002 situation or anything stupid like that, but it's going to be, I'm going to say Hamilton. As for podium, the pace they showed yesterday, it's hard to look beyond the Mercedes 1-2, but Ferrari, what they were showing us on Friday in terms of their race pace, I think they're going to be closer, but I think surprising. Was anybody else surprised by the gap? I mean, I read that in the qualifying report a couple of times, like half a second between Vettel and Bottas and 8 tenths between Kimi and Bottas. That really surprised me. So, you know, I think they will be closer in the race, but I'm not holding out much hope for Ferrari, unless, of course, there's some reliability issues for Mercedes. We've seen it this year, or that draft, if you like, down to turn. It's not turn 1, it's turn 2, but I'm calling it turn 1. That first braking point is turn 1 as far as I'm concerned, so it's going to be interesting. Sean, I think I'm going to head off to watch the Sky coverage. Be back for the post-race stuff. No worries, Space and Races. Thanks for coming along, mate. One of our Discord regulars there, and it's Chamber with me and Jonty this afternoon on the post-race again. So 2 weeks in a row with a bit of Stuart. There you go. Yeah, you see. I'm trying to involve as many people as I can from the F1 YouTube community at the moment. You'll have noticed Matt in the weekend warm-up with his hot lap. Obviously, we've got John T, we've had Chaz on before, we've got Dan on, talking to a couple of others as well. Stuart's with us, so hoping to involve as many as I can. So that's awesome. Get as many voices out there as we can. A few of you going to watch the race. So enjoy the Grand Prix, guys. I hope, fingers crossed, we get a good one for you, and I'll see you all in the post-race. But for those that are sticking along or sticking around for the watch-along, hopefully we'll be able to keep up a little bit today. Singapore was difficult. I'm not going to sit here and lie. Singapore was difficult for a watch-along because it wasn't thrilling. So we had a bit of fun along the way, didn't we? So WTF1 says, Owen Laslet. I'd love to work with somebody from there. We're following each other on Twitter. You know, you got to start small. You know, we chat here and there and interact a little bit. But early days, I'm not even at 50k yet, and it's, you know, channel's only just 14 months old, so, you know, long way to go yet, but we're doing well. And on that, actually, let's see if we can hit 49k today. It's ambitious. I don't tend to set targets, and let's see if we can get some likes on this video as well. Again, I don't tend to ask for likes and stuff like that, but it'd be awesome if we get some likes on some watch-alongs, because a lot of people dislike them. I think more because they find the title watch-along misleading, which is a little bit ridiculous, given that there's a disclaimer on the first line of the description, and watch-along is pretty clear. But so yeah, make sure you drop a like on the video if you enjoy the watch-along, of course, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Hopefully we'll get a few viewers, and it's not being shown live on Channel 4. Few of you asking, which is disappointing, but yeah, obviously next year only the British Grand Prix live, but better than nothing. At least some highlights. What's actually going to what's actually happening though, who knows? Who knows? Somebody else, Hamilton's oil leak could cause an overheating problems. That is something Hamilton notoriously can't manage. It's got an oil leak. I've missed that because I've not actually listened to the Sky coverage until we get to the actual race. So they tend to, a little bit like me, they waffle on a bit. So yes, yeah, a lot of you are very happy for the intro. The start is going to be great. I'm sweating, says Grace. I love the start. I love the start. It's butterflies every time, even if we don't get a decent one. So yeah, definitely. But I think, do you know what? I'm just gonna go straight to the watch along screen. Let's do it. So it is time for my cheesy intro and the Russian Grand Prix race watch along. Beautiful. Beautiful as ever. Here is the watch along screen. Live timing is once again provided by the very awesome people over at Planet F1. So thank you very much to those guys for that. Don't forget to head over there for your latest F1 news. It's a pleasure to be working with them a little bit. You've seen their name on the channel as well quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. So yeah, do go check them out. They're awesome over there. Some really good people, and they do some very good work. So yes, that's my little plug there. A little bit of a disclaimer as well. Once again, there is no race footage in this stream because copyright would take me down in no time and I'd lose my channel. So it's not really worth taking that risk. It is just me discussing it in alternative radio commentary fashion with you guys watching along as well. Clues in the title, I guess is the way to put it. But yeah, I have updated the screen as well today, so we've got up-to-date championship standings and an actual track map. So once again, second race watch along in a row, I've managed to get it right. So definitely. So let's get some predictions in the chat. Who do you think? Mods, I'm sorry, because I forgot to do flipping slow mode again. Damn it. I can't change it. I can't change it when I'm live. Sorry, mods. Who's going to win it? Who's going to win the Russian Grand Prix? What's your podium? Let me know in the chat. I'll read out a few. I won't be able to do everybody, but I'll read as many as I can. So, Sophia says Hamilton. Vettel will win with Bottas second, says Football Lover. Bottas to win, says Rico. Vettel says Matt OK. Hamilton win, Vettel second, says Grace Lord. Ferrari has no hope, says Awesome. Jose says Bottas, Hamilton, Vettel, says Carter Sims. Hamilton, Vettel, Bottas, says Dynamite. Great name. Dynamite. I love that. Fantastic. Lap 1, turn 2, Carnage, says Flying Tiger. You might not be wrong. It's tight down there, but there's too much runoff area. Put some gravel there. Leclerc says the mighty dash. Jack, you never know. He's 7th on the grid. Bit of chaos. It could happen. It's unlikely, but you just never know. Hamilton, Vettel, Bottas, says Jack Chambers. If Vettel finishes behind Hamilton today, is that... I mean, title's not looking good anyway, but is that pretty much it? 5 to go. Still 125 points, 1 DNF. It's, yeah. I'm going to say Bottas Simpson sharing, but that's very clever. Sorokin Ocon Leclerc says Basim. I don't know what he's been on this morning, but I'd like some. Nick16724 Hamilton. K-Mag. Kimi Bottas Vettel. Kimi, says AB Gamer. If he's racing for himself, if he's to be believed, then absolutely. Edsky wants a hectic first lap. I think we all do, mate. That would be absolutely brilliant, wouldn't it? Bottas Vettel Hamilton. So Vettel ahead of Hamilton. That could be... He's got to win it, hasn't he? Vettel. It's obvious. It's an obvious statement. He's got to win every race between now and the end of the season. But, yeah... I thought that was your prediction then, but it's the starting grid. Sorry, I was reading that going, wow, that's an impressive prediction, but it's the starting grid. Bottas and Vettel crash in turn 2, says Callum. It is over already, says Michael. It is over already, says Michael Damien. A lot of people feel that. Obviously, 40 points is a huge margin, but... You know, he's going to need a 2013-esque end to the season or a 2010-esque end to the season. He's come from almost as far back and gone on big winning streaks, Vettel, but he's not got the car he had at Red Bull that had that margin, has he? So it's a big ask to win the final 6. I mean, you never know. As long as it's mathematically possible, he can do it. And I'll never say absolutely no, he can't. But it's a big ask, and I'd be very surprised if Lewis Hamilton doesn't take a 5th world title at the end of the season. I would be very, very surprised. So I'd like it to go down to the wire. It's felt like it has all season, and you know we had such a competitive start to the season. It was ebbing and flowing. It was all over the place. You know, one week. Vettel was leading and then Hamilton was doing it, and we had Ferrari had the fastest car, Mercedes had the fastest car. It's been like that all season. So, you know, we might get another twist before the end of the season. I think we will. I think there will be one more twist, but if you are a Vettel fan or you're Vettel himself, it needs to be the biggest twist we've had in Formula One for a long time. He needs it. But yeah, I think... I can understand the stick that Vettel's getting this year in terms of not taking what is believed to be the faster car and winning the title, despite having a good lead at one point. And some of the mistakes he's made and some of the mistakes the team have made. But I don't think Vettel, and I'll just say it, because I don't think Vettel gets the credit he deserves for being a 4-time world champion. Yes, he's got the fastest car on the grid, but or he had it when he had those 4 world championship wins. But, you know... who hasn't had one of the fastest cars? I'm not saying every single world champion has had comfortably the fastest car, but world champions have always got to have a car capable of winning a world championship. We've never seen a world champion in a Minardi. I know that's an exaggeration. We're not going to see one in a Toro Rosso. So, you know, you've got to have a faster car, and I think he gets too much stick for, or doesn't get the credit he deserves for being a 4-time world champion. He deserves some of the stick he's getting this year, but I will always defend Vettel on that. You know, whether people like it or not, he is a 4-time world champion, and you know, yes, he had the fastest car when he did it, but it's up to you to get yourself in that position. It's up to you to beat your teammate. It's up to you to get yourself in that team. You look at Alonso, for example. How many would he have won if he'd made that move to Red Bull, or if Ferrari had delivered, or if he'd maybe gone to Mercedes one day? You know, so. Yeah, I'll stop talking too much. I'm just going to read that one from Aruna Carr. Said it was decided in Germany when Vettel lost 25 points. Psychologically, that was his biggest kick of the season. I think that was the one that really hurt him psychologically. But yeah, ST, I'm sure he's around in chat somewhere. We'll provide some of you with a link to a stream if you want to watch. Obviously, I can't show it, but they are coming round on the formation lap now to finish it. Let's see if live timing's working on the official F1 website, shall we? It wasn't working earlier. It is working. Fantastic. Thank you very much. So, just random. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on live timing as well, so I might say something about a fast lap that's happened before it's actually been shown to you guys, so I do apologise. I'll try and avoid doing that and keep with what's on TV like everybody else. Maurizio Arriva Bene, has he got his hand out there looking for rain or feeling for rain? Maybe I was looking at that a little bit too wrong there, but we will see. It's going to be... Yeah, let's hope for a good race. Fingers crossed, everybody, that we're going to get a good one, and hopefully we won't have to come up with some random filler quizzes or something like we always had to in Singapore. I should have written some questions down, really, shouldn't I? I'm sure I'll come up with something. So Sebastian Vettel just pulling into his grid box in third place behind the two Mercedes. It's a Red Bull fest at the back. Gasly, Ricciardo, Verstappen, Hartley right at the back as well. So, yeah. Christian Horner looking... nervous, but I'm sure he'll love this. Obviously, he wants his team to be winning races, but he'll love having those cars out of position and going for a run through the field. Green flag at the back. Here come the lights. There's your 5 lights. And they're off in Russia. It's not a bad start from Bottas, but Hamilton a little bit sluggish off the line, but looks like he's going to... Oh, Vettel's alongside him through turn 1. Oh, they're wheel to wheel. Kimi Räikkönen not a great start, but Vettel, and there is Hamilton drafting Bottas. I'm trying to look there. I can't work that one out, but Bottas is just about going to keep the lead. Hamilton locks up. That's going to give Vettel a really good run through turn 3. Oh, Vettel right out on the runoff area there, but can he get past Hamilton? It doesn't look like he's going to, and at one point there it looked as though Sebastian Vettel had got himself up into second position, but with obviously that big slipstream for the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton behind his teammate, that was not going to happen. He almost got the lead into turn 1, a little bit of a lock-up that allowed Vettel to run through turn 3, but it didn't happen. He is still right behind Lewis Hamilton. Vettel needs to pass him. It's a simple, that's some great scrapping in the midfield, but Bottas pulling away a little bit now. Really good start from Valtteri Bottas. So 1.3 seconds up the road already from his teammate. This, as I've already said, very much a Bottas track. Kimi Räikkönen sticking with his teammate. K-Mag 5th, Leclerc up to 6th. Solid start for him as well. Ocon down to 7th place. We've got yellow flags out there somewhere. I'm assuming debris. So quite a few drivers running wide into that first couple of corners. Just going to keep... Have we lost somebody? Is that what we're waiting for here, or is it just going to be for debris? Gasly is bringing up the rear, so I don't think there's any problem there. He is still moving, so just looking at Leclerc having to fight off these Force Indias. Ocon right on the back of him, Perez on the back of him, and Grosjean right behind him. This could be the fight of the race, and the Mercedes just beginning to eke out a bit of a gap now. Bottas 1.3 up the road from Lewis Hamilton, and Sebastian Vettel 1.1 behind now. Maybe just going to take it easy in this first stint on those ultra softs. I really hope we don't get a tyre management race, but a really good first lap for Valtteri Bottas. And look at that midfield. Oh, brilliant. That's where the fighting is. You've got Magnussen, Leclerc, Ocon, Perez, Grosjean, and I believe still Marcus Ericsson, all pretty much line astern in the field. Leclerc having a cheeky little look there at the Haas of Kevin Magnussen, side by side on the outside of turn 3. Magnussen and Leclerc drives clean round the outside of him in turn 3. What a move. Magnussen has a little look back up the inside, but that was a brilliant move from Leclerc. Oh, and Magnussen having to go super defensive as well on Ocon. That was really aggressive defence, but fair as far as I could see from the onboard. But Oh, what a move from Leclerc. I want to see that again, though. I'm not convinced. I have a feeling Charles might have been all four wheels off the track there, but I think you can get away with it around turn 3. The whole track limits thing in Russia is just stupid. They enforce it at some corners and not at others, so I'm not quite sure what the rule is on that one from the FIA, but Magnussen had to go super defensive, but Charles Leclerc up into P5, and Bottas is gone. 1.6 up the road now. Hamilton's following, and Ferrari at 1.2 behind Hamilton. He's not falling away too much. Like I say, maybe just looking after those tyres. But here goes Verstappen. Oh, tight little move going for it already up into P11. What a start from Max. What a start. Up into 11th place. Sainz goes through as well on Hulkenberg. I think it was. What a... Wow. Ricciardo 16th. Hartley 19th and Gasly 20th. Alonso is 17th, so he's lost one position. DRS... It says DRS enabled. That can't be right. Is it the end of lap 3? I think that's a mistake there. That shouldn't be enabled at this point. But what a move from Charles Leclerc. And what a start from Max Verstappen. Valtteri Bottas, fastest lap of the race. A 1:40.109. And Max Verstappen here, what is he off the lead? 12.9. Interesting. And started on the soft tyre. That's worth a mention. Just keep an eye on him. I know it's lap 3. Long way to go, but yeah. Oh, he's having a little look here. Is he going to go for a Marcus Ericsson through 4? Yes, he is. That's pretty simple from Max Verstappen up into fourth place. No, he's up into 10th place through turn 4 with a move on Marcus Ericsson. Team giving him lots of praise on the radio. He's coming through brilliant. Where did he start again? He started 19th, didn't he? That's a really solid first couple of laps, but the leaders, Hamilton's starting to catch Bottas a little bit, not massively, but Vettel's starting to fall away as well, Raikkonen falling away. I've just seen a couple in chat saying race over already. It's a long way to go yet. It's a long way to go. With that midfield so tight, you just don't know if anybody's going to come together and trigger a safety car or anything, but Max does have DRS on lap 3. I'm sure that's early. I'm probably wrong. I'll have a look at that afterwards. But he's easily passed Romain Grosjean and up into 9th place. This is a very impressive drive. Like I said, Red Bull's pace yesterday looked pretty solid. So yeah, he's on his way. Ricciardo 14th, so he's still moving through himself. But 10 places in less than 3 laps. There you go. Can Verstappen reach the halfway point on those softs? I'll tell you what I'll do. I will head over to Pirelli's Twitter, because I think they did put the expected laps, if you like, the duration of these tyres up a little bit earlier on. I probably could have gone to my own Twitter feed and got it from there. So, race strategy for the Russian Grand Prix. The quickest strategy on paper is a one-stopper. Start on ultra softs for 15 laps, then soft to the end. Almost as quick. Start on hyper softs for 9 laps, then soft to the end. A two-stopper is also possible, but slower, obviously. Start on hyper soft for 7 laps, then two 23-lap stints on the softs, or start on ultra softs for 10 laps, then 21 laps on soft, and a 22-lap stint on soft. So you're looking at probably around, with a bit of management and as fuel burns off, probably 25 to 30 laps maximum, based on what Pirelli is saying there. But as we saw in Singapore, that was the last race, wasn't it? Yeah, as we saw in Singapore, Pirelli was saying 11 laps on the hypers, and some drivers went into the 20s a lap. So if they can manage the tyres, that was so close through that first corner between Hamilton and Vettel. Then obviously Hamilton got that draft, or that toe from his teammate, and that completely stopped Vettel being able to do it. Hamilton goes a little bit wide with a lockup. Vettel gets alongside him, but then runs right off track and backs out of it and thinks better of it. But yeah, there you go. Paul de Resta saying Hamilton pushed Vettel off track there. I don't really think there's much in that. Just watching Verstappen is on board from the first corner. So what's he got? A McLaren there. Really good. Wow. That's a really solid start at that first lap. And that's what the yellow flag would have been for early on, as Pierre Gasly goes for a spin. So, yeah, there you go. That's all the action, if you like, from the first lap. I can't get that move from Charles Leclerc. Really good move. So, real snap there from Gasly. Keeps it out the wall. Comfortably, actually, in the end. So, yeah, got going again. He is currently down in P19. So he's ahead of his teammate. Of course, Brendan Hartley been given the task by Helmut Marko of beating Gasly between now and the end of the season if he wants to keep his seat. So, yeah. Can he do that? Is it? It's a big ask, isn't it, for Gasly to do? I mean, unless he means beats him in the races between now and the end of the season. But yeah, let's have a look then. The top four, they have broken away quite a bit. Leclerc 13 seconds off the lead already and 7.98 seconds behind Kimi Raikkonen. But here is Max Verstappen again. This is where all the action is at the moment. He's right on the back of Sergio Perez. Super aggressive today from Max. He's already, not Perez at all, it's Ocon. So he's already dispatched of Perez, and he's on the back of Esteban Ocon for what will be P7. So definitely coming through to at least 5th place, I would say, today, Max Verstappen. He's got the DRS on the run down to what I believe is turn 13. Sweeps through there. Easy move with DRS and up into P7 on lap 5. Now he's after Kevin Magnussen. Then it's Leclerc. 17.5 seconds off the lead. So big ass to be getting back into that one. But, you know, you never know. Safety car, get himself in position. You just never know. Let's have a quick skim. You're keeping an eye on the race. But I'm going to skim through some of your comments now. Mighty Dash says, providing there is no safety car before lap 30, it's going to be Max's race, surely. I can't, as Gasly comes into the pits to retire. Hang on. Oh. Okay, so Gasly and Hartley are in the pits. They are both being retired by the team. Apparently something breaking on the car, which has caused a spin. So that sounds like a safety precaution. Alonso in as well. Is he retiring? So we've lost Gasly and Hartley. It looks like a safety precaution. Yep, they're both out the cars. Something's broken at the back, which caused the spins. Alonso's in as well. No, that looks like a standard pit stop for Alonso. He's going from ultra softs to softs. So he's going to go back out again. But yeah, Gasly and Hartley out of this race. There you go. I'll try and hear things out as much as I can. Max Verstappen right on the back now of Kevin Magnussen for what will be P6. Well, I can tell you now, officially now, we have had more than one on-track overtake outside of the first lap in Russia this year. So we're already better than last year, which is awesome. But the top 4, as a few of you are saying in chat already, are gone from the rest of the field. And yeah, Vettel 2 seconds off Hamilton. Hamilton a second and a half, 1.6 off Bottas. So, and Max Verstappen does move himself up into 6th position. Next one up the road is Charles Leclerc, 2.5 seconds. So, at the moment, it's the Red Bull boys doing all the work. Ricciardo up to 12th place. He's 1.2 behind Ericsson, who's only 7 tenths behind Grosjean, actually. So that's a scrap maybe the director might think about picking up on, but I assume because it's not one of the top 3 teams, they won't be overly interested. So, Magnussen with some team radio. Brake temperatures there, a bit hot for him. But yeah, Gasly and Hartley confirmed now they are out of the Grand Prix. So Verstappen's so strong. How many laps are there? If the race carries on like this, too many, mate. But 53 laps in the race today. We're on lap 7. So yeah, Verstappen so strong. Read that one. How many laps other than that one? Max doing some overtaking show. Definitely. Is there anything that we can get the gap from car in front on screen? I can't obviously use the live timing from Planet F1, but I can't put the official F1 timing up, unfortunately, because that's something that would possibly get me or would get me in trouble if they spotted it. So, but yeah, that is just head on over to the F1 website if you can do, and the live timing's on there. I think it's free to everybody, the live timing. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. That's where all the gaps are. So most people just go with gaps to leaders. Mercedes putting lap record after lap record. Bottas fastest lap. Max overtaking better than Ricciardo. So still I rise 4.485. Brake issue from Magnussen, it sounds like. Yep. Or a heating problem with his brakes. But yeah, I'm just waiting to hear on the Toro Rosso thing, because that's one that's interesting. Live timing is free and faster than TV. Absolutely agree. It's updating now much quicker than TV. There's a live delay, I think. There is actually a live delay, obviously, on TV for whatever reason. I don't really know, to be honest. Max is being what I'm like on F1 2018 on PS4 on easy mode. He's right on the back of Leclerc, I believe, 2 tenths. So director is not picking up on that one. So I think we're going to miss that overtake, because he's now looking at the timing screens. Here we go. Finally, Max Verstappen right up behind Charles Leclerc and breezes past him for P5. So it's taken Max Verstappen less than 8 laps, or he's on lap 8 now, to get from 19th on the grid to P5. Now, that says a lot a hell of a lot about Max Verstappen's talent and the aggression it will show for an overtake. What it also does point out and make quite clear as well is the gulf in speed between the top 3 teams and the rest of the grid. So, but having said that, Daniel Ricciardo isn't past Grosjean yet, so he's about to do. I believe he's about to do. He should do. He's 400ths behind according to live timing, so that should be quite a move that's done with DRS. But into the pits comes Lance Stroll. He's making a change of tyre. Or is it Sirotkin? No, it is Stroll. Stroll in the pits. He's gone onto the soft tyre as well from the ultra soft. So lap 8 seems early. Stroll start on the hypers maybe. Because that seems odd, but Vettel's starting to pick it up now. 4 tenths up in that first sector over Valtteri Bottas. A little bit slower in the middle sector by a tenth, just waiting for it to go across the line. And he was quicker overall by 4 tenths of a second. So at the moment, as Ricciardo does get past Grosjean, I think, yeah, that's the move done on the replay. But Sebastian Vettel just starting to pick up the pace a little bit now. So maybe there is a little bit of tyre management going on there. But whether he's thinking undercut, I don't know. He needs to be within 5 of the leader. He is 3.2 off the leader, so he could do that. But yeah, he's just slowly picking up the speed. Like I said, might have done some tyre management early on. We shall see. So I'll keep an eye on your comments. Don't worry, because I have a feeling we're going to be helping each other through this one, the way it's going. I mean, it could spice up. Safety cars, you never know. Rain in the air, possibly, although it looks like it's clearing up quite nicely now. This is Esteban Ocon, I believe, having a go at Kevin Magnussen, who goes nice and late on the defence there. Ocon having to get out of it, goes slow in and fast out of that corner. So into turn 3, where Leclerc pulled his belting move earlier on. Obviously, Magnussen is going to have to go defensive into 4. Ocon, will he go for it? No, he won't. He's not going to try that one. So maybe wait for DRS down that long back straight, or technically back straight, and see what he can do from there. But that's where the scrapping is at the moment, all in the midfield between those Haas boys and the Force Indias. Grosjean has pitted to go to the soft tyres. So people are... No, he started hypersofts. That'd be about right. So did Stroll start on hypers? Let me know on chat if you know. I'm pretty sure. I thought he started on ultras. Maybe start on hypers. Go aggressive, because he pitted very early to get rid of the ultra softs. I don't think the softs will go to the end from here. The belief prior to the weekend was that they would go as long as the teams wanted them to. But according to Pirelli, 25 laps-ish probably. But we'll see. So... that block, yes, it was an aggressive one, wasn't it? But fair, not too late, I wouldn't have said on that one. So we shall see. Ricciardo up to P10. He is 34 seconds off the lead already. 3.5 seconds behind Perez and this scrap. So Ricciardo is going to be joining this scrap very soon. And Magnussen is coming into... Yes, he is. He's in the pits. So Magnussen pits. That'll be to ditch those hyper-soft tyres. Now, what a force... We know, particularly Mr. Perez, is very good... as the whole Force India team are, looking after those tyres. So if they can deliver a lap now while Magnussen's in the pits, they might be able to get the jump over the Dane, who is, I assume, he's going to go to soft tyres. I can't see that he'd do anything else, and indeed he is. 43 laps on the softs. Should do. I think that's what Pirelli was saying. But yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? That Pirelli can't win. We all moan about there's too much degradation, it's too artificial. Then we moan that the tyres are too durable. So they've got to find that sweet spot. But it's such a small window that we're basically expecting them to hit that there's just no way they're going to be able to do that. So, but it's settling. I say settling down. It's starting. Oh, so aggressive from Magnussen. It was quite late looking at that replay. Ocon saying last minute. It was a move in the brake, yeah. Oh, that was I don't know. I don't think I take any pain for that. I think it was just enough. I think it was just okay, but that was very late. Hancock for the win, says Carter Sims. I was just going to say, at the front of the field, it's just starting to pick up a little bit. Hamilton now a second off Bottas. Vettel is now matching, in fact, on the last lap, their laps were identical, a 140.349 for both Vettel and Hamilton. So they are matching each other. Vettel within 2 seconds of Hamilton. So whether it was just tyre management early on and now they're going to start coming back at Bottas, it looks like that's what's happening. So just beginning to pick up, but that graphic on the screen now, Verstappen up 14 places already. Ricciardo up to 9th, and he's made 9 places as well. So Yeah. Who do you think will win the tyre contract, says Noel Boss? To be honest, Pirelli. I think it will be Pirelli. Into the pits. Big pit stop, though. It is Esteban Ocon. Will he get out in front of Kevin Magnussen? What was his last lap like? It's not updated. That's annoying. 59.9, obviously, for the outlap. Purple, final sector from Magnussen. So I think... There is K-Mag, he's got him. So K-Mag is still going to hold his position. So that's not worked for Force India running a little bit longer and going for the overcut. But I think this is going to be a race-long battle. Ocon, Perez and Magnussen. That'll do. Some proper drama. That'll do. We like that. We like a bit of midfield drama. So let's have a quick look on Twitter, see what we've got any reaction from teams or anything. People are already saying that John T there on Twitter saying that Max Verstappen is going to get driver of the day already. Great comeback. A lot of love for Charles as well on social media. Mr. Gallagher, obviously very happy with that one. But yeah, not really an awful lot on social media at the minute. It's very quiet. It is very quiet. But Bottas 1.3 up the road now from Lewis Hamilton. I think, did Hamilton get DRS on that lap? No, he didn't. So Bottas just starting to respond a little bit now. Couple of tenths quicker. But it's so close. That last lap, very, very close. So Vettel's back in it as well. Quicker than both Mercedes. 1.7 behind Hamilton and 3 seconds off the lead. Yes. I'm just going to have a quick flick through some of your chats while I'm... keeping an eye on this one. I wonder if Ferrari might trigger the undercut here. 1.6 behind Hamilton. Vettel matching Hamilton quicker than Bottas in the first sector on this lap. So maybe, just maybe they'll try it. Ericsson's in the pit. Leclerc has pitted as well. I've missed that one. Apologies. He's gone onto the soft tyre. I assume Ericsson will go soft as well. I think that's basically what's going to happen, is straight to the soft tyre for everybody, which will leave the top 4 on Ultras. Sergio Perez on hypers, and Stoffel Van Dorn, it would have been ultras, but he's just pitted as well. So I think that's probably going to be it in terms of pit stops, peeps, I'm afraid. So we're going to need some drama in a safety car if we're going to get any kind of variation in strategy, unless these softs don't really last as long as we're expecting. So Leclerc did pit, unless he's had a moment. He did pit because he's down to 10th place and he's on the soft tyres now. So Bottas, Bottas pits. That was Hamilton in then. But Bottas in the pits now, so Hamilton will take the lead. I'm surprised Ferrari have let them do this. Let is a stupid word, I know, but I'm surprised they didn't come in and trigger that themselves, because that might just save Bottas. But he's coming into that 12 laps on the Ultras, which should be about right, I would say. I thought they might go a little bit longer, might do some tyre management. So he's gone to the softs. They apparently should go to the end. He's going to come out behind Verstappen, but shouldn't get affected too much because Max is well up the road. But of course, Max started on those soft tyres. Hamilton responding to Bottas's pit stop. He's just gone 2 tenths quicker in the first sector than anybody. It's than Vettel, and quicker than anybody. A 35.3, Vettel a 35.5. So these two are going to have to push like crazy now. Raikkonen really falling away. 4.9, 5 seconds off his teammates. Perez pits. Where's he going to come out? I would assume he does come out behind Magnussen. Definitely, and I would assume as well Ocon, he should fall behind Ocon, and yeah, will do. So it's not worth forcing India that round of pit stops. They're going to have to do it on track. 34.2 in the middle for Hamilton, 34.3 for Vettel. So these two pretty close on this lap. This could be... I'm just looking for Bottas's lap times now. So obviously his first sector won't be great because he had the pit lane to negotiate. So it's the second sector now that we need to keep an eye on for Mr. Bottas, who's been in the pits to put on those soft tyres. Verstappen 34.2. Verstappen matching the leader for pace, and it's a 33.8 in the middle for Bottas. He should be okay. That's half a second. And Sebastian Vettel is pitting. Hamilton does not. So Vettel is going for the undercut. Ferrari are going aggressive on... Whoa, really late there. Lock up as well as he comes in the pits. Bottas should be okay. 33.8 in the middle sector, as I say. So he should be okay to keep that lead. But in comes Vettel. Hamilton is going to have to fly on this next lap. A 39.5 is his lap. Decent stop from Ferrari. Just waiting for the time to go. 2.8 seconds. A little bit slow. I still think it's amazing we say 2.8 seconds is slow. I absolutely love that. Where is Bottas? This is a little bit closer than I thought, but Bottas will go through. There he goes. That's going to... If Hamilton pits, that's net lead at the moment. Well, not net lead, but it will be the lead for Max Verstappen. But obviously Bottas will catch him, as will Sebastian Vettel, who's going to come out a little bit more behind Bottas than I expected, actually. 3.7 seconds, but he's around 3 seconds off, so not too bad. So the team are saying just keep it up and keep doing what you're doing. So I don't think Hamilton's going to pit this lap and respond. He's going to have to push like crazy. He's going to have to push like mad. 34.3 in the middle. So I'll watch for Vettel's middle sector. Raikkonen finally showing some pace. Does match Lewis Hamilton in that middle sector as well. So Mercedes are coming out. So they are going to pit him. Just waiting for Vettel to come through. So 34.3. I think Hamilton's got traffic as well. Oh, he got a little bit of traffic from Sirotkin. It might be okay with that one. Vettel purple, 33.4. That's nearly a second quicker than Lewis Hamilton. That might. It was sort of 1.9 off, I think. Vettel's flying, I think. Is Raikkonen going to pit? No, Raikkonen takes the lead. So Raikkonen staying out. Interesting enough, Hamilton in. Verstappen a 39.5, fastest lap of the race. He's going to go past Hamilton. Where is Sebastian Vettel? Bottas will get through. So here comes Verstappen now. This could be a crucial moment, I think. Oh, this is going to be so close. This is going to be close, and I think Vettel's got him. This is going to be... Oh, he might be all right. This is so close. It's ridiculously close. And I think he has. Vettel has passed Hamilton through the pit stops. A great outlap. Oh, Ferrari got a strategy right. Sebastian Vettel, as Max Verstappen does get the fastest lap of 39.5. Vettel up into second place. Can he get Valtteri Bottas? He is half a second behind the Finn. Will get DRS. And this is a tyre that Ferrari haven't been particularly good on this season, but... Hamilton not happy on team radio, understandably and obviously. But it's all on Bottas now. He's got to stay where he is and cause as much problems as he can for Ferrari, unless that's what Raikkonen is staying out for. But Raikkonen's pace is solid, 34.2 in that middle sector. So he's quicker than the others as well, 33.8. So they're starting to come back at him. But yeah, we're going to get some scrapping here. Hamilton will go for it on Vettel, I'm sure. But yes... It worked. It worked. Now, is it going to be a lock up from Vettel? He can't afford too many of those. Hamilton sliding through, trying to get as close as he can. This is going to be a great scrap. Hamilton right on the back of Sebastian Vettel. Frustrated, obviously. Vettel needs a very good exit from this last corner. So Bottas is coming through. He's been very quick. He's going to go across the line on a 39.398. Vettel's going to come across the line. 39.353 is quicker. Hamilton matched Vettel in that middle sector, but in the final sector, Bottas very quick in the final sector. So DRS for Hamilton. OP DRS, by the way. I don't know why they've moved it, but he's going to go for it into turn one, surely. Here goes Vettel, super defensive. Hamilton down the inside and almost contact. Oh, that was close. He's going to come back again, Hamilton, into turn four. Vettel will have to go defensive. And he's gone for it down the inside. And Hamilton back into second place. How they didn't touch in that first turn, I have no idea. But Hamilton has passed Vettel and back ahead of him into a net P2. Oh, I want to see a replay of that first one. That was flipping close. Wow. That was close. It's gone quiet. I was just watching Hamilton's pit entry there and pit exit. So super close. Super close. Wow. Oh, Toto was not happy punching the desk as he does, but it's that move I want to see into turn one. That was so close. Very late defensive, but aggressive and fair, I'd say. And Hamilton did get the move done on the run through turn three and into turn four. So really good move. But just showing the pace is there, isn't it? In that Mercedes. But that was a dramatic couple of laps, I think we'll say. But yeah. Let's take some of your comments. Davey T says, "Oh, shut up, Crofty." I hope that's aimed at the real Crofty and not calling me Crofty. I don't know what's more insulting there. I'm joking. Nice overtake from Hamilton, says 1S Goss. Sean Brady's happy to see that move get done. That was... But I said there'd be no 50-50s. I said Hamilton wouldn't go for 50-50. How wrong was I? He absolutely delivered that one, didn't he? So... let me guess, Vettel fans, Hamilton cut him to get the overtake. No. I don't read it like that. I don't think anybody can. Oh, that was so close. Hamilton saying on the radio that Vettel moved twice. I don't think he moved twice at all. The move through 3, he got the run, and then he just went really late on the brakes into 4. Great move, actually. Big, very risky, as a couple of you in chat have been saying, but yeah. Really good on any chance of rain, a couple of you asking. It was 40% last I checked, but I don't think so. Looking at the sky on the shots we keep getting, it looks pretty clear at the moment. So I've said that now, so I'll probably chuck it down in 10 laps. But yeah, great overtake from Hamilton, but really aggressive defence from Vettel. So good to see that there's a bit of fighting going on. Going to be an intriguing one. A lot of people giving a lot of love to Max Verstappen over on social media, understandably. Really good drive up. He's second place at the moment. I mean, he's going to be obviously beaten through the pit stops by Bottas, Hamilton and Vettel. But in terms of pace, he is quicker than race leader Kimi Raikkonen, which is solid. Raikkonen's still out, so I don't know what they're planning. So, wow. Ricardo being told over team radio, Raikkonen being told over team radio, we're matching Ricardo's pace. So that is obviously who Raikkonen is racing. Turn 2 incident involving cars 5, Vettel and Hamilton, under investigation, moving more than once to defend the position. Well, chat, what do you think? I think it was aggressive. It was very aggressive, but I don't think that was 2 moves. I'm gonna wait for another one, but I might be wrong. I don't think it was 2 moves. I'm sure we'll get a replay again. But yeah. Don't race, guys. I think is the message there. I'm not Raikkonen finally pitting. I'm not going to sit here and defend any driver if they don't deserve to be defended, but I don't think Vettel's done anything wrong there at all. It's an aggressive move. He's in a championship fight. What do they want? Do they want processional races like Singapore where everybody goes, let's all follow the leader because that's how we want to be? Yay, that's racing. Because if that's what they want, then great. But sod off if you want your viewers to come in and watch. Seriously, nobody's going to watch if people are just following each other in a procession. I really hope nothing comes of that. I don't think it will. I'd be surprised. But Raikkonen comes out in P5. A little bit. Whether he'll come back a little bit later on, I don't know. But a little bit underwhelmed by Kimi today. Thought he might be right in there. A few of you actually before the race predicted, didn't you, that he was going to get the win today. But yeah, I'd be a little bit surprised. I thought he'd be a bit quicker than this. He's 10 seconds off his teammate. Just ahead of Ricciardo. So obviously that was the gap they were looking for. That's what they were talking about. So Johnny Herbert saying at Sky Race Control that it is that it is 1 move. Steering wheel has a wobble, but it is for him 1 move. I'd be surprised. It was aggressive. It was a hard move, but as Johnny Herbert's just said, it's racing. It's part of it. If there's contact, maybe they look at it differently, but I don't think there's anything in that one. But Max Verstappen is our race leader from 19th to 1st. No, he has not pitted, but he's showing some good pace. He's 6/10 off Bottas, but on tyres that are 15 laps older, maybe 14 laps older, and having to come through traffic and through the field, that's not a bad lap time at all. He's got some good pace out there, but Bottas is the fastest man on track. Vettel's got the purple first sector. What's he going to do as he comes across line? Fastest lap from Vettel, 38.429. So 4 tenths quicker than Hamilton. But the battle at the moment, Nico Hulkenberg P7, 9 seconds up the road from Leclerc. He's pitted. Hulkenberg has not. Ricciardo hasn't pitted either. Leclerc 8th, he's pitted. Magnussen's pitted in 9th. He's 9.5 seconds behind Leclerc. Ocon, Perez are right on the back of Magnussen. Ocon 4 tenths behind and Perez 8 tenths off his teammates. So obviously they are right in there. And Carlos Sainz is in P12. Grosjean 13th, a little bit off Carlos Sainz as well. So at the minute, the fight is between Magnussen, Ocon and Perez. But Sebastian Vettel is trying to come back at Lewis Hamilton. He's a couple of tenths slower in the first sector as Hamilton sets the fastest one. They've got better. I was just going to say that actually, funnily enough, that the Force Indies are quicker than Hulkenberg at the minute, so they'll want to keep that up because obviously Hulkenberg, how far clear is he of those? He's about 18. He's about 19. So Hulkenberg could get back in this one, So they do need to push. The Force Indies do need to push. Ocon's got DRS on Magnussen. Perez has DRS on Ocon. Are the Force Indies allowed to race? This is the question. I would be surprised if after Singapore they're allowed to get too racy, but at the same time, if there's a slam dunk move on, I'd be surprised if Perez isn't allowed to go for it. But we shall see. Otmar Safnauer pretty damning after Singapore, of course, but I think things calmed down quite a bit after that one. So Perez saying Esteban's too slow, so I wonder what he's calling for. But Esteban's slow because he can't get past Magnussen at the moment, but we will see what he can do. He's going to get DRS down that back straight, and of course on the start-finish straight, if you want to call it that as well, or he should. He's 9 tenths behind. Perez falling away from Ocon though, so he's obviously not that slow. So he has got the DRS, but he's falling back. Magnussen's pace is pretty solid, so this is where the fight is for what should be a net P7. Red Bull look like they are going to come back to 5th and 6th here. I'm just looking at Raikkonen's pace. Fastest lap, 38 flat. 1.3 seconds quicker than Verstappen. But he's 15 seconds off the lead. So Verstappen, on what you would assume would be the ultra soft tyres, he might be able to come back at Kimi, for P4. I don't think he's going to threaten the Mercedes or Vettel, but he might be able to come back at Kimi for P4. Hamilton purple in the first, so it's pretty, all over the place a little bit in terms of lap time. Somebody just saying there the fastest lap doesn't stay with someone for long. It doesn't, does it? We might see somebody late on have a go, see if they can nick it like Magnussen did. Ocon not able to. Okay, Force India telling Ocon he's got 3 laps to pass Magnussen, so I assume that's going to be you've got 3 laps to pass him, or Checo's coming through. But he should be getting past him. He's quicker. He's got the DRS, so he should be doing this. So, come on, Esteban. Show us what you've got, mate. Let's get him. K-Mag quicker than Leclerc. 7 tenths. Yeah, it's steady. Steady in that midfield. This is it, pretty much, fight-wise. Bottas 2 seconds off Verstappen. That's going to be a scrap for the lead in a moment. It won't be much of a fight. I don't see Verstappen fighting too hard for that one and losing too much time. Hamilton 1.2 off his teammate and Vettel 2.4 off of Hamilton, and Raikkonen is 9.5 seconds off Sebastian Vettel. So unless we get a little bit of chaos and drama at the front, I think your top 4, not necessarily in that order, is pretty much done. I think Verstappen can come back later, but Ocon right on the back now of Kevin Magnussen. That team order clearly getting him riled up and ready to go. So going to be going. Hulkenberg doing a great job. I'm trying to double check of his lap times there, but yeah, he's doing a great job. 16.1 off Ricciardo, but he's 9.7 up from Leclerc. So that's 19 seconds up from Magnussen. So pit stop loss, I think, is about 24. Was that Singapore? I did check that before the weekend. I completely forgot to put it in the preview as well. But yeah, Ocon can't get past him on the straight. There's going to be a really good run out of that final corner for Magnussen. So it's an important one here. It's an important one for Ocon. He's got one more after this lap, so he needs to get it done. I was not very excited yesterday, says Fritz, but Max is on fire. He is doing a great job, isn't he? If he ends up 5th today, that's a great comeback. If he ends up 4th, to get into that mix with the Ferraris and the Mercedes would be brilliant. So no further action on Vettel and Hamilton. Common sense has prevailed in Formula One. Wow, doesn't happen very often, does it? But yes, there is no penalty for Vettel, no further action. So that's dealt with. But we're looking at the moment at Bottas and Hamilton. Hamilton within 0.3 of his teammate. Having a little look into turn 1, a little bit of DRS there as well. Yes, turn 2, Sean, but it's as good as turn 1. So Hamilton really starting to come back now at Valtteri Bottas, but Kimi Räikkönen on the move, a 38 flat from him as the fastest lap of the race, but still 9 seconds behind his teammate. Vettel needs to pick up the pace now. Obviously, this is costing Hamilton quite badly in terms of his tyres. Follow his teammate that close, but traffic once again playing its part as Valtteri Bottas is looking frantically for a way past, I believe, is that Stoffel Van Dorn? I think it is, yeah, Stoffel Van Dorn. So he should get through. He has got through. There we go. Van Dorn out of the way. Bottas 1.8 off Verstappen. Hamilton within a second of his teammates. So down that straight, it could get interesting again. But I do not expect Valtteri Bottas to go quite as defensive as Sebastian Vettel did if Hamilton gets a run on him. But we shall see. You never know. You never know. So I'm going to keep an eye on this while I just get some. No further action for race control. A few just pointing it out to those that have missed it. Yep, no further action on that one. Team orders or genuine pace? I think it's genuine pace. I think Hamilton, I'm looking at it now. Have a look at it. Yeah, Bottas. So Raikkonen, fastest man out there. Vettel, fastest first sector. Quicker than both the Mercs on this lap, considerably. So he's coming back at them. Verstappen appears to be making a bit of a... giving Bottas a few problems in terms of that dirty air, which obviously then has a knock-on effect to Hamilton. And Vettel is cruising up to the back of them now. Half a second on that lap and still closing. So he's coming back at the Mercedes, but I don't think that's... I hope I'm wrong. I want to race to the finish, but I don't think that's raw pace in that Ferrari. We've not seen it this weekend. I think that is because of all this turbulent air and whatnot, but I'll keep an eye on it. But I don't think it's team orders between Bottas and Hamilton at this point, because with the gap being a second... I think Bottas would have been right out of the way by now if it was team orders at this point. So, Kevin Magnussen on Carlos Sainz. Magnussen quite clearly. I want to have a look at that again. That looked to me like he's pushed him off the track. Stupid and aggressive there. Not quite necessary. The move was done, but we'll have a look. What was your opinion on Vettel and Hamilton with the blocking? It was aggressive defence. There's no denying that, but absolutely no. Nothing in that for me. Nothing in that. Correct decision from the stewards. Don't often say that. Don't often say correct decision by the stewards if you're a regular viewer. Don't forget, if you're tuning in for the first time, to hit that like button if you enjoy joining me for the watch along. We've got the post-race show coming up as well. I say show, it's the post-race stream. I'll be joined by Jonty as ever, and Chainbear will be with us as well to talk about what we hope will be a bit more drama in this Grand Prix. So, Bottas not catching Verstappen, but yeah, we've got the post-race, and of course then there's the review, or the debrief as it is tomorrow, so that's going to be lots coming up over the next few days. The midweek stream as well on Wednesday, obviously, middle of the week, and then obviously Japanese Grand Prix weekend, early hours in the UK, so get me streams and videos out of the way, and then I get a day off, technically, which will be nice. But yeah, it'll be weird. Early mornings. I'm not good on the morning, so the watch-along could be interesting. You might have to drag me through that one, guys. I'm sure we'll get there together, but it looks... Yep, just showing the camera there as a finger on the tactics button from Toto Wolff. But Hamilton 1.8 behind Hamilton, so it is called the cool-down room now. Yes, it is, mate. You remembered. Nobody else remembered. Wow. I'm sure others did, but yeah, that's going to be the post-race stream with our Stuart and Jonty a little bit later on, so that'll be fun. Always have a good debate. Get you guys involved on that one. We might involve you even more today if we don't get a huge amount of action, but a few bits to talk about already. Verstappen's been... fantastic. The aggression of Kevin Magnussen, the aggressive defending of Sebastian Vettel. Can be interesting to see what their view is on that one. I stand by it. I think it's just racing. Leave them to it. Oh. There you go. Bottas stops and lets Lewis Hamilton through. There we go. I don't know what to say to that really, other than that is Bottas will now play Let's see how long I can stay ahead of Vettel and affect his tyres, like we saw in Monza, of course, with Raikkonen team game. I know it's frustrating. A lot of you are not going to be happy in chat, but he's part of a team and he's helping his teammate to the World Championship. But what I would say is, in this instance, I can understand it because I don't want to destroy Hamilton's tyres, but with a 40-point championship lead, is that massively necessary at this point of the race? Do you know what I mean? If he's 4 points ahead of Vettel, yeah, get Bottas out of the way. Absolutely. But 40 points? You know, Bottas has the lead. Even if Vettel throws it up the inside of Hamilton on the last lap, it's still a 37-point lead. I feel for Bottas there. His lap yesterday was very good. Yeah, we'll see. What happens to Toro Rosso, says Eli. I'm not sure. So I'm sure somebody in chat pointed out basically they had some kind of mechanical issue which caused a spin for both cars. So they decided, I assume on safety grounds, to get them in and get them, obviously keep them safe. So yeah, that's one. A lot of you not happy with this one. Team orders are unnecessary. What's your opinion? Says Edsky. They have a place in the sport because it's a team sport as well. But I think, and there you go, Perez. Perez passed Ocon, so there you go, on team orders. From a team perspective, it makes sense. From a fan perspective, we want to see 20 drivers racing, but it is a team sport, and they have to look at the bigger picture. Hamilton is behind Bottas. He's got a championship to go for. But as I've already said, a 40-point lead, I don't think it's a desperate need to let him through. Certainly not on lap 26. The pace is in that Mercedes. They're quicker than Ferrari this weekend. Even if Vettel gets past Hamilton, as we saw after the pit stop, Hamilton can, not easily, but he can get the move done if he needs to. So I think it could have waited a few more laps, but obviously they're concerned about the tyres on the Mercedes. Don't want to wear down and force degradation on Hamilton, but they're going to try and do it on Sebastian Vettel here. Bottas going to be, as we've seen before, just quick enough where he needs to be quick, and then slower where he doesn't need to be quite so quick. So, Sean, you know Lewis faster, but people are going to cry on your comment section. To be honest, still I rise 4485. I always say your full name. It doesn't matter what I say. If there's any others of you out there that do YouTube and make videos, you will know from your comment section, doesn't matter what you say. You can be as on the fence as you like. You're going to get stick for whatever you say. So I'm beyond caring if people want to have a moan at me because my opinion's different to theirs. That's absolutely fine. But as I've said before, mate, it's my channel. It's my Twitter feed. It's my social media. I will say what I want to say. And if people want to disagree but have a grown-up debate about it, I'm more than happy to have that debate. That's kind of the point of the F1 word, involving people, community, having conversations about Formula One. But if people want to bitch about things and get nasty, then they can just stuff off. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I'm not a horrible person, but there's only so much I'm going to take. More than happy to have conversations like this, you know, chatting to you guys, getting your opinions. A lot of your opinions differ to mine. A lot of my opinions differ to yours. But most of you, we can have a really decent debate. I've had quite a few long-term viewers of the channel that I've had some very heated debates with, but get on with very, very well. So that's the point. It's Formula One. It's always going to divide people. Same with every sport, to be honest. I was going to make a reference to the football club I support there, but I'm not going to do it. But there's, a lot of divide. So stop whining. No, I won't. Is Vettel showing any signs of good pace at the moment? He's a tenth slower than Bottas on that lap. But like I say, this is going to be very much Vettel very wide there, but through 7, I think that is. But yeah, he's going to be... Bottas will be slow where he needs to be slow and will be quick where he needs to be quick. That's what we're going to get here. So, just listen to team radio there. Bottas not happy, said he was going to pass Verstappen on the next lap. James has then come in and said we had a risk from Hamilton on Vettel. He had a small blister. We had to do this to protect. So Bottas not happy, understandably. That's come so early. But again, there you go, team perspective. Blister, got to think of the bigger picture. But I don't think people are too happy, are you guys? You're not overly keen on this one. Quite right, Sean. Too bad Bottas let Hamilton through, especially today. But if Merc have 1-2 DNFs, a very few points may matter a lot. Absolutely. Absolutely. I bet he'll give position back. Not going to lie, says Point Blank. I'd be surprised. But we saw it in Hungary, didn't we? Was it last year? I think it was last year, Hungary, where they said have a go at passing a Ferrari, and if you can't, let Bottas back through, and he did. He put that suggestion forward and stuck to it. So he might, but I don't think that was a Hamilton order. I think that's come straight from the team. We saw before that Toto Wolff's finger on the tactics button in the garage. So yeah, I think that was a decision taken from the top. But let's have a look through the field, because obviously that's going to be the big talking point, I think. Verstappen's still leading, 2.3 seconds clear of Lewis Hamilton, 2.5. Half a second slower on the last lap, so he's not terribly slow, Verstappen versus the Mercedes. So not bad at all. Raikkonen flying out there, 37.7 on the last lap, has closed in by 3 seconds on Vettel over the last few laps. It's down to 6.7. Ricciardo yet to stop in 6th place. Hulkenberg also yet to stop in 7th. Charles Leclerc, he is in 8th place, 8.3 behind Hulkenberg, so a net. Yeah, he'll be P7 when it all shakes out. Ricciardo will be P6. He's 24 seconds up the road from Nico Hulkenberg, so he will be 6th. So as we said, Red Bull were going to recover quite nicely. Kevin Magnussen, 11.8 seconds behind Charles Leclerc, 11.7 now. Leclerc a little bit slower, but not massively quicker in the first sector this lap, though. So, personal best. So he's definitely got the pace in that car. He's pitted, as is Magnussen. Perez, of course, has passed Ocon to have a go at Magnussen. I would assume Force India will swap those two back if he can't get past Magnussen. But Magnussen proper racing and aggressive today. Romain Grosjean is in 12th place. Marcus Ericsson down to 13th after starting 10th. Carlos Sainz 14th. Fernando Alonso 15th. You've got Stroll in 16th. Van Dorn 17th. Sorokin in 18th. They're all a lap down. And Pierre Gasly and Brendan Hartley out of the race. In terms of scraps on track, Verstappen 3/10 quicker than Hamilton on that first sector, but Hamilton's got traffic, I think. He's quicker in the second as well. So good pace from Verstappen on those tyres that have done 29 laps. Remind you on that one. So good pace. He's going to come out ahead of his teammate in P5, but he's not going to be a million miles away from Raikkonen on the faster ultra soft tyres. So that could get tasty towards the end. But on track it is once again. It's the Force Indias versus Kevin Magnussen. And then, yeah. That's all she wrote, basically. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Vettel is a second behind Bottas. So really, we're looking at Bottas and Vettel, if you want to call that a fight, and then Perez, Ocon and Magnussen, with Magnussen leading that train. We are on lap 31 of 53. It looks like we're about to get a Max Verstappen pit stop, or getting close to. Red Bull starting to hover around their tyres, as you do. Just keeping an eye, just see if they do decide to come out. But yes, I'm just gonna see if he does need to pit. So blue flags there for Alonso. So we're going to watch some replays of Max Verstappen from the first lap off the line. So really good start, straight past the Force India and for God's sake, the Toro Rosso and his teammate. Some more overtaking, lap 2 at turn 13 there, passes Nico Hulkenberg, I believe that is, which it is. Then he gets the move done on Marcus Ericsson. It's then going to be the two Haas boys, yep, straight past Grosjean, nice and easy with DRS. It's then the Force Indias and then Magnussen. So next up for him, there you go on the replay. If you're watching on TV, you'll totally know what I'm talking about. If you're not, you'll think I'm crazy, and maybe an hour behind everybody else. You might think that anyway. But Kevin Kevin Magnussen is next up for Max Verstappen with the DRS. That was, I can't remember what lap that was, it's not saying on screen, lap 6 at turn 12, easily done with DRS. And then, of course, up the road was Charles Leclerc. And then through the pit stops, he got it all done as well to take the lead. So, really solid from Verstappen. His pace is good as well. He's a tenth slower on that lap than Lewis Hamilton on soft tyres that are about 20 odd laps fresher. So he's doing a great job, a really good job, and that is Sebastian Vettel passing Alonso to lap him, and he is 1.6 seconds off of Bottas. I'm going to disappear for 1 minute, peeps. You can have a guess as to why that is. I'm going to leave you with the live timing, and hopefully when I get back, we'll get some action. There you go, peeps. I am back. I had this vision then of coming back after being away for a minute and seeing 16 cars retire. That'll be about my luck, as I like to jinx things. So, thank you, Connor Smith, for the running commentary. Really appreciate that one. Let's have a quick. I'll have a quick flick through social media. I was just going to do that before, but I thought I'll chat to you while I'm doing it. I'm gonna go on the Sky Sports page because we have a post. Team orders in play from Mercedes. See what the reaction is. Yeah. That's not good. Yeah, let's. I'm not even going to read half of those. No way. I'm just looking at some of the reactions to the team orders thing. I'm not going to read it. No way. So Perez been told what we kind of expected earlier, didn't we? That they will have to switch back the Force Indias if he can't get past Magnussen. So I can't see anyone making a second pit stop. I mean, Verstappen, 20 laps to go, still hasn't pitted. Neither is Ricciardo and neither is Hulkenberg. They are all doing a brilliant job. Verstappen, half a second slower than Hamilton, but only half a second on tyres that are much older. So Sainz is pitting, so he's finally making his stop. But that's really solid. So 20 laps, less than 20 laps on the ultra soft should be able to do on the on those ultra soft tyres with obviously less fuel and things like that. So should be pretty okay. He's going to be racy towards the end, and his pace is solid. Ricciardo as well. You know, yeah, he's a second off Hamilton's pace, but he's not a million miles off on those tyres. And Hulkenberg, in terms of the rest of the midfield, not too bad. 6/10 slower, 5/10 slower than Magnussen in 9th. So yeah, not bad at all from them to keep that pace up on those older tyres. So that is where the racing is at the moment. It is still between Magnussen, Perez and Ocon on track. I will try and find another battle. Vettel within 2 seconds of Bottas. Stroll on Alonso. 1.4 seconds between them, maybe. Could be something. Ocon, yeah, still right on his teammate. So, Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. There's not really much else going on in the field. Kind of as expected, I think, for Russia. So, right. There's a lot of team radio at Force India at the minute. So when Hulkenberg pits, they're going to swap the cars back over. He should be in a couple of laps. So basically, Perez has been told, you've got to get Magnussen now. I think that's what that is. I'm going to have a read through some of your comments because, I mean, there's so much going on track and I don't want to miss it all, but I think we'll get some of your guys' comments. Kind of the point of these streams is to involve you guys. I've been doing it a lot more, obviously, for Singapore and this one as well. So, come on, Seb, says Adam Harris. Are Mercedes going to switch back, says Tinash. I'm not sure. I don't think they will because I think that order came from the top. I don't think they might. They might, but, you know, I'd be surprised. Fernando is faster than you. How long can Max go on these tyres? The talk was about 25 laps, I think, before the race. So, there you go. But I understood it. You know, Pirelli is saying that's the strategy, 25 laps and whatnot. But I always understood it was that they could go pretty much as long as teams wanted them to this weekend. So if he wants to run nose to lap 50, he probably could. So yeah, Quad Hawk 8, is the race worth watching? I'll let chat answer that one for you, mate. I think the general consensus is no, but I'm sure there's a few of you out there like me who, whatever race we get, will always watch it and try and find something to keep an eye on and get us excited. But there isn't an awful lot today. A lot of field spread, and really, like I keep saying, the only fight is for 9th, 10th and 11th at the moment between Magnussen, Perez and Ocon, which will be for the fight for 8th, 9th and 10th, the final points. So, yes, 3 laps on hypersoft tyres. Says Astra. He won't go to lap 50, but if he wanted to, he could. I think pretty sure if he wanted to, on his current pace, he could probably take these to the end. Obviously, he can't because he needs to make his mandatory pit stop, and he'll want to get in and have a run at those ultras so he can have a run at Kimi Raikkonen. But Kimi's flying 37.5, fastest man out there. Bottas 37.9, quicker than his teammate ahead of him, and Verstappen 37.8, quicker than Hamilton, Bottas, and Vettel. And into the pits, finally, on lap 36. It looks like Red Bull are getting ready, but Hulkenberg is coming in. End of lap 35, sorry. Hulkenberg coming in. That'll be a switch, I would assume, to ultra-soft tyres. He is going to be super racy. Astro, no two stoppers. Not at the moment. It doesn't look like it. Unless we get a safety car or somebody wants to try something. But I don't think we're going to get a safety car unless something happens between those two Force Indias and Kevin Magnussen, or somebody makes a huge mistake, because there's not a huge amount of wheel-to-wheel stuff going on anymore. We had some good stuff early-ish on around the pit stops with Hamilton and Vettel, Magnussen getting racy as well. So there's been a few bits. Leclerc's move around the outside of, was it Magnussen? Was brilliant. In turn 3, so Perez been told to try. He's got to go for it. But Hulkenberg comes out P11, only 6.2 behind Esteban Ocon in 10th. That is a really good. Really, really good. Could they be going for hypersofts? Red Bull, I'd not even considered that. Just looking at replay there, his tyres look good. We're on lap 36 of 53. You would assume the Hypersoft should be able to do 10 laps on lower fuel at least, maybe a couple of extra as well. I wonder if that's what they're going for, super quick on those Hypersofts at the end, because the delta is fairly big between them. So I just wonder if that's what they're trying here, Red Bull. And on his current pace, Verstappen can carry on 37.9 versus 37.6. He's not losing a huge amount of time. He's doing a great job up there with that pace. So is Daniel Ricciardo. His pace is solid as well. I wonder. God. So if Perez doesn't have DRS to turn 2 on the next lap, they're going to swap the two Force Indias over again. So, and they're going to have to, because Hulkenberg is quicker. He's quicker. He's catching him 6.7 the gap. I think it was 5.9, sorry, it's just updated. I thought it had come down a bit more than that, and there is the swap. Ocon back up into 9. It's technically an overtake, it's a team order overtake, but the way this race is going, it'll do, I think, is the way to look at that. I am watching your comments whilst I'm doing this and keeping an eye on time. So Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the race, 37.395, but only 0.3 quicker than Verstappen again, gap down to 2.5. So he's not, I don't think Verstappen, he's not, is he? Even on hypersofts, he's not going to have the pace to go for the win. But, you know, Kimi could be in there. He's 13 seconds up the road. He's going to come out about 10 to 12 seconds behind on current pace. So he could go for it towards the end. He could go for it towards the end for fourth. I don't think the podium's on now, but I think you never know. You never know. There could be some chaos. We could get a safety car, and that could China-esque. You know, people rave about the Chinese Grand Prix, and I remember talking about it quite favourably at the time. But as I recall, it was pretty dull for the first half to 2/3, and it wasn't until the Toro Rossos came together that the race took off when the Red Bulls went aggressive on the strategy. So you never know in Formula One. Last 10 laps of chaos, like we used to get on the big degrading in the tyres, was brilliant. So average time to complete a pit stop, there you go, that's what was after 25 seconds, according to the graphic on TV. So the Mighty Dasher, people really not enjoying the race. Are you mad? Max overtook everyone. Yeah, I agree, Max overtook everyone, but that was about 30 laps ago. And this is what we've had, apart from the pit stops thing, this is all we've had for the last few laps. So I can understand people's frustration with it, but it hasn't been bad. It hasn't been terrible. It's not been the worst. It's not as bad as Singapore by quite a way. But yeah, how is Max going? He's all right. Ericsson pitting. Is Ericsson going 2 stops? I thought he pitted. Ericsson 2 stopping. There you go. Coming in for the ultra soft tyres. To be fair, he was P13, so nothing to lose. Go for it. You never know. Go racy. He's going to come out. He's going to come out 26.8 seconds behind Grosjean, so he's going to have to go very racy if he wants to catch him. I think we're getting close to Verstappen pit, so I've just got a feeling they're sort of hovering around in the pit garage, getting some team radio now. But again, last lap, 37.3 from Hamilton, fastest lap of the race, 37.5 from Verstappen, so he's only a couple of tenths off. So I'm trying to work out in my head whilst talking to you guys and reading your comments. Trying to work out how far behind Kimi is going to end up. So 25 seconds. So he's going to be about 13 seconds off Kimi if he pitted now. I still think ultras 13, 14 laps on the hypers maybe could do it, but that would be a big ask. But obviously, yeah. I don't know. I think they're going to go hypers. I think they're going to go super aggressive. If it's been good strategy. They're getting ready. We have movement in the Red Bull garage. So is Verstappen pitting? No, he is not. They're trying to get us excited for a pit stop now. We're going to get some action, I think, from these Red Bull boys again towards the end of the Grand Prix. So I'm going to keep an eye on everything and have a scroll through and see what you guys are saying. So no race will ever be as bad as Canada. What? Right, Canada was terrible. I would say worst race of the season. Close behind is Singapore. But what made Canada worse and why I rate it the worst of the season is because Canada is always brilliant. And that was what the shock was with Canada, and that's why I am not impressed with it at all. Daniel Ricciardo, lap 39, finally in the pit lane. This will tell us what they're doing. So he's in. What tyres are they going to put on that Red Bull? Here we go. This will give us a new front wing as well for Daniel Ricciardo. Interesting. It's the ultra soft tyres. He's obviously had some front wing damage. That explains a little bit. But it is the ultra softs on Ricciardo. Some really hot brakes there. 10.6. So obviously that's not bad for front. I remember front wing changes used to take 15 seconds. That's all right. So he always has some damage somewhere or picked up something in his front wing. So he's in. He's made his pit stop. He's on the ultras, so they're not fancying the hypers to the end. But he will still be quicker on the ultras. Not as quick as on that. I just wonder if they might try it with Verstappen. I wonder. We'll see. Canada really was the worst. Such a letdown. Spain was pretty ordinary this year too, by which I mean also very dull indeed. I thought Spain was all right. It wasn't thrilling, but Spain never is, if that makes sense. Spain's never thrilling, so I tend to rate races based, and it's the same with drivers as well. I tend to rate them based on what I expected from them and how they actually delivered. And I expected Canada to be one of the best of the season. It was the worst. And I expected Spain to be one of the worst, and it wasn't too bad, you know, so it was all right. That's one of that's the northern way I do things. It was all right. That's kind of how I look at it. So venture into my weird little mind there. Best race, Germany, says Scuderia D. I think in terms of drama, yeah, but I would put Bahrain above Germany. The only thing I don't like about Bahrain was we got a lot of overtaking, but a lot of it was artificial with that extended DRS zone. But in terms of unpredictability and chaos, yeah, Germany, definitely. The British Grand Prix was also good, definitely Bob. Yeah, I agree with that one. That was a really good race as well. Best. I suppose I ought to start thinking about it. There's only 5 races to go after this one. So I suppose I ought to start thinking about stuff like that for the winter break. The not so long, but feels like forever winter break without Formula One. It's only really. Obviously, the race next season comes forward by a week as well in March. And we finish a little bit later. So, well, like a couple of days, I think it is. But yeah, not quite so bad, but yeah. I remember the start of the season when all the races were amazing and we forgot how bad races used to be. Australia wasn't great. Bit of controversy. I remember right at the start of the season, quite a lot of fuss after Australia. It wasn't a bad race, but it wasn't a thriller when you then compare it to the latter stages in China, the race we had in Bahrain, the drama in Baku. Here is Lewis Hamilton. Is he finally going to have a go at Max Verstappen? He's having a look. Will Verstappen go defensive? He does. We've got some action, finally. So it's been a while, been about 20 laps. But yeah, Verstappen still has a lead, but Hamilton's going for it. So picking up the pace. I wonder if Verstappen's tyres have gone. Well, it's only 4/10 slower on that lap, so not terrible. There was traffic as well. But I was surprised, actually, to see Verstappen go that defensive, but there we go. Who cares? He's racing. Just say before each race that this race will be the worst of the year. I will try my best. I try not to predict too much now. Vladimir Putin just turning up for the... is that Bernie Ecclestone? It is. Bernie Ecclestone and Vladimir Putin together in the same shot. Surprised, but I'm not surprised Bernie's there this weekend at all. He was a big... one of the big ones, wasn't he, pushing to get the race in Russia? So, yeah. Right, Verstappen saying tyres cold, so I think he'll be in very soon. End of this lap, maybe? Just coming through the final sector. Is he going to pull into the pit lane? It's about time. He is not. He's going another lap, so Verstappen is going one more lap, being told to push. 5 more points with a 50-point lead. Rip Vettel. What's going on with Hamilton? I'm just looking at tyre. He's 1.1 slower than Verstappen on that lap. 9/10 slower than Bottas, 1.4 seconds slower than Vettel, 2.1 slower than Raikkonen. First sector times, not too bad, 35 flat, quicker than Verstappen, but slower by 0.3 than Bottas, slower by 0.3 than Vettel. So they're leaving Verstappen out. I think they're going to go hypers. Verstappen stay. I think they're going to have to go hypers. They might as well from here. I think, it sounds like it is that he's just backed out of it. So, yeah, a couple of you in chat saying saving tyres. He has definitely picked up the pace this lap. 33.6, 33.8 and 33.5 for second, third and fourth. So they're kind of matching each other again now. A couple of tenths here and there. But it just seemed to drop off really quickly. I can understand wanting to look after tyres and not get too close to Verstappen, not wanting to take a big gamble. Verstappen pits. I can understand why they've done that, but it was just how quickly he dropped off that made me look then, do a bit of a double take. So in comes Verstappen. What are they putting on? What are they going for? Are they going for the hypers? I really want them on hypers. Oh, they've gone ultras. Oh, that's boring. I mean, he's going to be quick on them, but I thought they might have taken. Did they actually? Where's me phone with me screenshot on? Let me just have a look for you. I'm just wondering if actually, well, they had a new set of hypers available for Verstappen for the race. So I'm surprised they didn't go for that with 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go or so. I was hoping for hypers there, but he should be quicker on them anyway. He should be much quicker on them than Kimi. So I'll keep an eye on his lap times in the second and third sectors. Vettel has to pass Bottas and has to pass Hamilton now, but I do not see it happening unless something happens at the front. I don't see it happening. Bottas 1.2 off Hamilton, Vettel 1.2 off Bottas, Raikkonen 6.8 seconds back. So Verstappen comes out 14.5 behind Raikkonen. So Raikkonen goes through the middle sector with a 33.540. Max Verstappen coming through that middle sector. Eventually, 14 seconds after, obviously, but I will keep an eye out for that time when it comes through. 33.7, so he's slower. It is just his outlet getting temperature in there, so that might change, but he is slower. The third sector might be key here, so I'll keep an eye out for that one as well. But Vettel needs to move now. Bottas quicker on that lap, I think, than his teammate. Yes, he was just slower than his teammate. Quicker than Vettel by a fair whack, actually. So, will Mercedes swap him over, do we think? Chat, do you think they might swap him back? But I'd be surprised. I'd be very surprised. 28.3, there we go. 7/10 quicker in the final sector from Verstappen. So here he goes. Temperature in the tyres now. So we'll keep a very close eye on him. He's not got long to do it, though. Not got long to do it. But this, for the championship, is going to put Sebastian Vettel a long way behind. 50 points as it stands. It's going to put him a long way behind because 40 wasn't Sean. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's going to put him even further behind in the World Championship. 50 points will be the gap. So 125 available. He's going to need 2 DNFs. That's it. Coming into this weekend, championship was in his hands. If he wins the last 6 races, regardless of what Hamilton does, he's world champion. Did I think he was going to win the last 6? No, I didn't. But he's got form. He's done it before. So it's not impossible. But at the end of the day now, the title is firmly in Lewis Hamilton's hands. All he has to do is stay within a position of Vettel for the rest of the season. Christopher Simmons says, don't forget to click like, absolutely. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you are new to the channel, I've not been seeing you subscribe, actually. I do try and give some shout outs, but I think I've missed a few. Today I've been watching your chat way too much, which I'm sure you're loving. But yeah, don't forget to drop a subscribe on the channel as well if you're new. We are close to 49,000. We might do it by the end of today. But 50,000 is just around the corner, which I still can't believe at all. 14 months it's taken to get there, so unbelievable pretty much. I'm still ridiculously humbled by it all. And I know I say that a lot, but there you go. So Bob says he's subscribed. Did you subscribe today, mate? Because if you did, welcome. Great to have you with us. Loads coming up. We've got the post-race, of course, if you're just tuning in, with myself, Jonty, and Chamber. That's going to be... Where are we? 1:30 UK, so probably around somewhere between 3 and 3:30, I would say. Hopefully 3, but we'll see how we get on. That's the cool-down room. Then we've got the debrief tomorrow. There'll be a video up for that. And then on Wednesday, there's a midweek stream with Jonty and Dan. Dan, the Grosjean fan, of course. He's a very happy boy this week with Grosjean signing on. So, yeah. Lewis Hamilton, 1:36.1, fastest lap of the race. 0.6 quicker than Bottas. So, no, I think that's it now. Unless there's a huge twist in the tail, I think Hamilton's probably got this in the bag. Bottas should be second. Vettel 1.4 behind. He's going to have to just go for it. Is he getting to the point where nothing to lose now? For me, I'm not middle-aged, Christos. Shut up. I'm not middle-aged. If I'm middle-aged, I'm going to have a very depressing life. It's as simple as that. That's not a great thought, is it? Verstappen 14.4 behind Raikkonen. So Raikkonen is slower than him, but not getting smashed as I was expecting, actually, to be fair. So I think those of us that have predicted 5th and 6th for Red Bull today might be just about right. So Perez getting right out the way of Sebastian Vettel. And Valtteri Bottas. And I think that's it for the lead. We'll have a little scan through the timings. I'll tell you what I'll do, because I've not done it. I'll have a drink first. And then I'm going to run you through the order. And see if I can make it last 6 laps. I'm joking. Lewis Hamilton is currently leading 2.2 seconds clear of teammate Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel is just behind him, 1.6 seconds behind the Finn. Kimi Raikkonen is in 4th place, 6.7 off his teammate. Max Verstappen on those ultra soft tyres, showing actually slower than Kimi on that lap. Interesting enough, by nearly by a second. 1.1 seconds slower, okay. Verstappen recovering to 5th. Brilliant drive. He's 15 seconds off Raikkonen. Ricciardo 40 seconds further back. He's in 6th place. Charles Leclerc is in 7th, 15 seconds behind Raikkonen. Really good drive from him as well. Great overtake early in the race. They're asking for the vote of the driver of the day. I'll come to you guys in a bit for that. Kevin Magnussen in 8th place. Esteban Ocon 1.5 seconds behind in 9th. Sergio Perez in 10th. He's a lap down, 7.4 off his teammate. Grosjean, he's in 11th place, 13 seconds behind Perez. Hulkenberg 1.9 behind Grosjean. Ericsson 17 seconds in 13th behind Hulkenberg. Alonso 14th, 14 seconds behind Ericsson. Stroll right on the back of Fernando. That's where the excitement is. Lance Stroll just 8 tenths behind Alonso in 15th. Carlos Sainz is 16th, 23 seconds off Stroll. Van Dorn is 17th and Sorokin 18th, with Gasly and Hartley retiring very early in the race. There you go. I think it says it all. I got quite excited there to see Lance Stroll having a go at Fernando Alonso. 6 tenths between them now, so that could be our only battle on track, but they're just focusing here on Charles Leclerc. Solid drive. Yeah, all right. Started 7th and finished 7th, but he has been overtaken by 2 Red Bulls, so he is best of the rest, and comfortably as well. So, yeah, that move on Magnussen early on, I want to watch that a few more times. That was great, wasn't it? Yes, it could be apparently 200 and what was that on likes? 225. Yeah, that's not bad. I'd imagine there'll be a few dislikes on this one. The watch-alongs do. People don't like them because I don't show race footage. But there you go. I'm starting to lose faith in Vettel's world title, says F is Jen. Oh, I'm just going to say F. F is, that'll do, or FEs. Yeah, I think it was pretty much done before now, and if it wasn't, then it certainly is now. I can't see Hamilton throwing away a 50-point lead. No way. Maybe a DNF, but even then he's got a race win in his pocket, so you never know. It's Formula 1, couple of sloppy races, 5 laps to go. You just never, ever know. Lewis has the record of pole position. How many more laps to go? There are 5, as I just said there, mate. So obviously your message came through as I was saying it. So what happened to Sainz? Good question. I will try and find out for the post-race because I'm not actually sure. He made a very late stop, so whether he really struggled on tyres towards the end of it. His times aren't bad. 4 tenths off Stroll a lap, or 4 tenths quicker than Stroll per lap, so pretty decent ahead of him, but well off the pace of his teammate, who pitted later, of course. So who's your driver of the day then, chap? Start letting me know. I'd imagine there's a certain Dutchman that's going to be quite favourable in the chat, and rightly so. He's driven pretty perfectly today. 19th to 5th is incredible anyway, but to lead for so long and to keep the pace up on those tyres, so ST says Leclerc. Max Verstappen says Sean Taylor. That's a name I recognise. Quad Hawk says Lance Stroll. Max, driver of the day. Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen. Max. I think we see where this is going. See if anyone, Leclerc, he's going to get made. I think, Verstappen and Leclerc are in there definitely. A few of you saying last name, of course, as we always do. So it's looking like you guys are pretty much between Verstappen and Leclerc here, with Verstappen just edging it. So be interested to see what way the vote goes. I'm pretty confident it will be Fernando Alonso. If it's Fernando Alonso, I'll be stunned. But if it's Max Verstappen, I'll not be surprised at all. Well deserved if he gets that one. I don't often tend to go the same way as the vote goes. I like to look a little bit further through the field for somebody else that stood out, but I can't look past Max Verstappen today. I can't. Whatever happens between now and the end of the race, He's been solid. I think, looking at his pace, he's matching Kimi Räikkönen. I would not be surprised if Red Bull have realised that's done. We're not going to catch him. Let's just bring this home now and focus now on Japan and, more importantly, Mexico. So I think we're just pretty much waiting now for the flag. We are on lap 50 of 53, a new lap record from Lewis Hamilton, 136.137. Hamilton, deserved winner today? Is the question I'm now putting to you. I'd say Bottas. You know, but at the same time, Hamilton's been quick. Since he's got in front of Bottas, he's been quick. So there you go. I'll just keep an eye on your all. Yeah, Mohammed says yes. Quite a few of you saying no. Bottas was deserved winner. So I'm literally just reading your chat as it goes through. So Jeffrey says, yep. I hope he gives a position back. I don't think he will. I'd be surprised if he does. I mean, he can afford to, but obviously I don't see him doing that sort of thing this year till the championship's done. Yeah, a lot of you don't think so. I think it's hard to say somebody doesn't deserve it when they cross that line as the winner, but when your teammate stops on the track after a team order to let him through, it's not even that he's done that. It's that early in the race and with a 40-point championship lead. I think that was always the issue for me with Austria 2002. I know it's nothing like that, but I'm just using an example because as a Schumacher fan, despite the fact Schumacher won, I was angry that day, as so many were, not because the team orders came, but one, because of the way they did it, and two, because he was so comfortable in the championship, had the dominant car and was going to win it, so it didn't make sense. Whereas they haven't got the dominant car, Mercedes. They have this weekend, but they haven't got the dominant car in Formula One, so I can kind of understand why they've done it. But with a 40-point championship lead, they didn't really need to on lap 26 of the race. But when you listen to what James has said over team radio to him, you know, blistering on the tyres and whatnot, you know, Bottas needed to get on. And if Bottas gets past Verstappen and he's 5 seconds up the road from Hamilton, the team order might not come. So I'm not going to say too much. I'll watch a few bits back, as I tend to do, on getting the stream ready for the post-race, and then I shall debate it in a little bit with Jonty and Chamber around 3 o'clock, like I say, UK time. So about an hour and 20 minutes from now-ish, give or take. Do you play Fantasy F1, Sean? I have sites in my team. I don't play the official one because, in all honesty, as I've said it a few times, I don't see why that took 3 or 4 races to come in. And I'm not going to start that 3 or 4 races into a season. I will do the official one next year. We're using Grid Rivals over on Discord, and I forgot to update mine this weekend, so I have no idea who was in my team, but I'm not doing very well anyway. And to be fair, there are prizes at the end, so I can't really go winning my own prizes. So yeah, I probably have to be terrible, but yeah. 3 laps remaining, couple of laps now. Yep, we're cruising towards the end. Pretty much waiting for his back markers for Hamilton. He's making his way through, but I don't think there's any threat coming from Valtteri Bottas anyway. Vettel 3.9 now. 3.7 behind Bottas. He's fallen away. Hamilton passing there on the lap. Was that Alonso or was it Van Dorn? I think that was Van Dorn, wasn't it? Yeah. It was Van Dorn. There you go. Wow, spotted him from a distance. Next up to lap is Carlos Sainz. I'm trying to make this exciting. I'm sorry. But yeah, he's just come up to lap Carlos Sainz. He's losing a little bit of time. They are squabbling, but he'll get out of the way. There we go. Will Van Dorn go sneaking through? Ooh. So Bottas saying, basically, are we staying in this position for the end of the race? And he was told, yes, the positions stay as they are. We'll discuss it after the race. So there you go. There you go. That is it. They are not swapping positions. Yeah. Johnny Herbert says in commentary he thinks Lewis Hamilton deserves the win anyway. He was quick. He was quick, and obviously the way F1 is at the moment, overtaking ain't easy. And when it's your teammate, there is somebody there that can make that decision. But it is harsh on Bottas. But that's the way it is in Formula One. Again, as they've just been saying in commentary, that's the way it is. It is Formula One. Lewis Hamilton coming through now on that long back straight. Bottas 2.4. I can't imagine he's going to be happy when he gets out of that car at all. But Lewis Hamilton is about to come through and take a 50-point World Championship lead. And if you didn't think it was pretty much over anyway, it is going to be now. Yes, of course, it ain't over until the mathematics. It's mathematically impossible, but it's 40 points was a long way back. 50 is, yeah, it's pretty much done. Lewis Hamilton is coming through the final couple of corners. His third win in Russia, I believe. Across the line he goes. Lewis Hamilton does take the victory, with Valtteri Bottas coming home in second and not going over to the pit wall to celebrate with the team. Sebastian Vettel comes across the line in third place. Just watching him come through. Bottas has driven straight past Hamilton and is on his way back. He will not be a happy Finn. Kimi Raikkonen will cross the line in fifth place. He has done. Max Verstappen goes across, fourth. Max Verstappen is fifth. Daniel Ricciardo a long way back, 48 seconds behind his team. Obviously front wing change, so that's where 10 of those seconds went. So that will explain that. But Verstappen a monster today. Driver of the day, absolutely. I'm just waiting to see what the official one is, but Verstappen certainly deserves it. Just waiting for Ricciardo to cross the line to confirm positions. Looks like Leclerc, unless he has a very sloppy last lap, will be finishing in seventh place. Great drive from him. He's going to be one of those that slides under the radar this weekend, I think, despite that overtake. Kevin Magnussen 8th. Esteban Ocon will be 9th, and Sergio Perez 10th. Interesting. And again, we'll go over this a little bit more in the cool-down room afterwards. But interestingly, Hülkenberg wasn't able to really take the fight to those ahead despite the fresher Ultrasofts, and Verstappen couldn't either. Driver of the day, Max Verstappen, there we go. Just listen to team radio. Yeah, Toto pretty much saying that he's going to be talking after the race. Look, it's team orders. We don't particularly like them, but I think it's part of the sport. It's something we can debate it every single weekend. But you know, Mercedes are going to make the headlines. It was going on at Force India. It would have gone on at other teams as well. So, yes, birthday as well, isn't it? 21 years old. 21 years old. Anybody saying I'm salty, obviously hasn't been following the channel for a long time. It's nothing to do with that. I just say it as it is. Just because somebody doesn't agree with you, it's not salty. I don't know. I mean, what do we expect for the rest of the season now? Is that it? Are we done? Listen, Max's team, I'm a happy boy with fifth, I'd have thought. Really good drive. 19th on the grid, don't forget. And all that overtaking early on. Yeah, okay, faster car. But, you know, as we've said about others as well, got to deliver it. You've got to deliver it. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say. There's not really a lot else to say now. 5 races to go. 50-point World Championship lead for Lewis Hamilton. What Vettel now needs, I mean, I suppose you could say, if you want to cling on to something, that the championship is in Ferrari's hands. If Vettel wins every race, yeah, and Kimi Raikkonen comes home second, then there you go. But I think even then, I think Hamilton would sneak it on race wins, wouldn't he? I'll have to double check that for the cooldown room. I might be wrong. Vettel might take it by 1 or 2, but that is a big step towards it now. So, but still 5 races to go. There's lots to fight for. Forgetting the championship, the constructors is still open despite the 1-2 today. Unless that's something I've completely missed and they're miles ahead. But, you know, you never know. There's still Astro saying 50 points, 2 race wins, 50 race remaining. Absolutely. 5 race remaining. Absolutely. But he's got to hope for DNFs. And if they don't come, then it's not going to happen. But, you know, we've got the fight for the constructors is still on. You've got that brilliant midfield fight. Who's going to be best of the rest? I know a lot of you won't care about that, but it's part of the sport. Prize money is going to be critical for the future with all the rule changes coming and whatnot. Bottas really examining Lewis Hamilton's rear tyres there. Oh, I would not want to be in that debrief. I really would not. But yes, very quickly before I go, let's throw some results at you. So, Lewis Hamilton takes the win from Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel rounds off the podium in third. Kimi Raikkonen fourth. Max Verstappen fifth. And Daniel Ricciardo in sixth. Charles Leclerc came home seventh with Kevin Magnussen eighth and Esteban Ocon ninth. And the final point went to Sergio Perez. So that's 3 points towards that total of trying to beat McLaren. It's not a huge amount, but you never know. Romain Grosjean 11th in the second Haas. I think he'll be disappointed with that, to be fair. Nico Hulkenberg 12th, I believe, started 12th as well. Marcus Ericsson down from 10th to 13th. Fernando Alonso 14th. Lance Stroll ended up 15th. Stoffel Van Dorn 16th. Carlos Sainz 17th. Sergei Sorokin was 18th, and then Gasly and Hartley both retired with some mechanical issues, which I will look into for the cool-down room, which is coming up next on the channel in around about an hour and 15 minutes time or so. I'll be joined by John T and Chamber for that one, but thank you very much to all of you for tuning in for this. It's been a pleasure as ever to get chatting with you. No, it's all done. But yeah, sorry. It's been a pleasure to chat to you as ever throughout this stream. Obviously, next weekend, if you're coming along for the watch along, we've got early hours, I think. Oh, Jesus. Early hours of the morning next week for Japan UK time. So I'll definitely be up and going for that one. But yeah, I will be back very, very shortly with the cool down room again with John T and Chamber. You can follow me on social media for updates and whatnot. Links to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and to Discord are all in the description down below. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word. And until next time, goodbye.